Welcome back. Frank Trigg, MMA Oddsbreaker. Brandon Halsey, get ready to fight. Brett Cooper coming up. I talked to Brett. Obviously you're 6-0, and you're 20-9. And I talked to Brett, I talked to Brett a little bit ago, and I asked him. It seems like Bellator has this way of putting guys together that have mismatching records because of the tournament. Sometimes guys like such as yourself, who's 6-0, kind of get through the tournament against a guy like Brett Cooper, who's 20-9. Now to put this match together just independently of itself, it would never come together this way because it's such a because the disparity of records. He said that obviously you're worthy because you have 2 arms and 2 legs. You won yourself to the tournament. You obviously are deserving to be in this fight, but you're not deserving. You're not worthy of making the same kind of money that he does because more people know who he is and how he fights and how he does things. Do you kind of feel that way sometimes too? Every time you fight, it seems like the competition is a step up for you, and you beat that guy, and the next guy they give you is a step up in competition, and you beat that guy. Do you kind of feel like sometimes that they're trying to test you like a little bit harder than they should be?
Yeah, you know what? I go by the philosophy everything happens for a reason, and each fight has been tougher each time. And I feel like, I have worked my ass off to this point where, I deserve this, type of fight. And you know what? And I've proven that,
Yeah, true. But if you look at your record now, obviously Brett has fought because he's 20-9. He's had almost 30 fights compared to your 6. He's fought more names than you fought fights. But for 6 fights that you have, the names are pretty tight. With Goltz, Carter, Ramirez, Yeager, different Ramirez. One was Rocky Ramirez and Hector Ramirez, and then Joe Pacheco. You got a pretty deep pad for the amount of competition that you've actually had. Do you always ride yourself up the competition? Does your corner and your coaches help you find that proper and that right game plan for each fight, or is it kind of like you say that things just happen for a reason? You just kind of find a way to win every time.
It's more of game planning. Is what happens is I'm trying to progressively get better. I'm new to the MMA world. I've been doing this for a little over a year, but I'm trying to progress, and what my corner tries to do is implement my wrestling around the strategy of the fight. And so I go with my corner, and we'll talk about strategy, how to beat this guy, where to go, pressure him here. So it's all about strategy till we can find a point where just go out there and do what you can do. There's no strategy. We know you're ready. Just freaking blast them. And that's where kind of at the point I'm at right now is where I'm starting to up my game enough where they're feeling confident where they don't have to, have me take the guy down to win the match or score points, where they could just have me go up there. If he wants to stand and bang, he wants to stand and bang. If I want to take him down, take him down. It's I choose my destiny in the fight.
And you have a particular way of always controlling where the fight goes and where the fight wants to stay. You have this game plan of, I'm not going to go down unless I want to go down. I'm not going to get hit unless, it's going to be a stand-up war unless I want it to be a stand-up war. Is that part of your training that you go through every day in practice?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I work sparring 5 days a week where, we just freaking bang, and it's just get used to a firefight. You know what? If you get stuck in, a battle of throwing, exchanging, you know what? You're ready for it. So, I'm ready for anything. I want to dictate where I want to go with this, and what the possibility is of standing and banging.
Have you had to adjust your game plan, or not just your game plan, adjust your training? I mean, obviously you have a different game plan for every fighter, but have you had to adjust your training at all for this fight to get ready for a guy he's kind of been all over the map? He's pretty well gamed. Obviously, he's a better submission than anything else out of his repertoire, but Brett kind of knows the game in every aspect and comes in pretty decent shape every single time. It's pretty strong for the weight class. He kind of has this whole game going on. Did you have to adjust your game and how you trained it all to get ready for this fight?
I wouldn't say adjust. I would just say improving is what I'm trying to work towards. Is nothing is, I'm trying to change anything towards his style. I'm not worried about the striking. I'm not worried about the takedowns. I'm just trying to worry about improving myself so I'm elevated to another level.
Let's go back to over a year ago to the Joe Yeager fight, which is back in June of 2013. That's the only fight that stands out to me out of your record. That was a split decision win with John McCarthy as the ref back in Bellator '96. Was there anything that stands out to you from back? I mean, I know we're going back a year, and it's hard to remember, fights a year ago. Is there anything that stood out to you in that fight you could have done a little bit better instead of making it a split decision win, to make it a unanimous decision win, or even find a way to finish?
Well, there's a few things in that fight where kind of like threw me off mentally, which they going into the fight, it was supposed to be a regular bout, and then they ended up switching it as I was about to enter the ring. They said, no elbows. It's a tournament bout. They made it a reserve tournament bout, so they said right as I was about to walk out to the cage, they tell me no elbows. So I'm like thinking like, okay, what the heck? We trained elbows, we trained takedowns, smashing elbows on ground and pound. So it kind of threw me through a mental loop, knowing that I couldn't throw elbows. So I kind of went out there, half cocked, like kind of hesitating. So that fight kind of stuck with me as, a little sore subject on the split decision. But you know what? I don't want to make excuses. I got the win, and I'm just happy to move forward from there.
All right, Brad, I appreciate you coming on here. It's really good to talk to you finally. I can't wait to see this fight July 25th down at Pechanga Resort and Casino here in California. I'm actually going to be at that one live. It's a good time for me to come down and actually see how the new Bellator is put together with Scott Cooper at the helm. Have you noticed anything different for you in Bellator right now? You've been with Bellator, since March of 2013, but have you noticed anything different in the last 3 weeks since Scott Cooper took over?
You know what? Not me personally. I've heard stuff through the grapevine, some good things that are coming up. So, you know what? I think, this kind of changes for the better. So hopefully that works out, and hopes works into my favor. So, like
you always say, Brandon, everything happens for a reason. We'll see what the reason is with Coker taking over now.
Exactly. Look forward to seeing you out in the fight.
All right, take care, bud. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.